Hi everyone, welcome to Just for Kicks. This is the first episode going up on Spotify, so if you're new here, hello, glad you found this. And if you have been listening from the beginning on the group chat, hello again, you know how this goes by now. Just for Kicks is a podcast made for the group chat that somehow became something more. No agenda, no filter, just real conversations about everything worth saying out loud. Today, I have just moved houses. I have a question that I thought was simple but ended up taking us all back to memories and people we did not expect. And I have a fun family question for you at the end. Let's get into it. Hi everyone, how's it going? It's been a while. I've been doing a bunch of things that I will update you all with this episode. And hopefully this one goes on Spotify, but let's see. But just to begin, the moon looks beautiful tonight. It's 10:48 p.m. here in Old Toronto, where I have just moved to from Midtown. Looking outside at the city just go by, and I feel like in the heart of hearts, I am a city girl. Like, I had a whole view that looked down on trees and homes and I don't know, like nature, if I have to put it in a bucket. But what is alluring to me? What is more alluring to me are all these buildings that I'm looking at right now, and the moon slowly going behind the clouds, and the city just living tonight on this Sunday night. And I think that's what's more exciting to me, and that's just who I am. And I feel like most of you are listening to this have accepted me for who I am, and I'm grateful to you. But how are you guys doing? Um, Today, I have to answer a very important question that I had posed to you all a few days ago, between pizza and burger, and we will come to that. But before I do that, I'd like to just very quickly give you all an update on what's going on with me. So I moved houses um, yesterday and like day before yesterday and today I've been just working on moving, shifting, keeping stuff where it should be. um, it has been intense in the sense that everything that I'd planned for went awry. All my plans were just like at the minute I made them, I had to throw them out the door because something or someone wasn't ready to align with it. And so there were days where I was looking at my elevator and saying things like, "Why are you being mean to me?" Or looking at my closet that just collapsed on me today and asking it, and using the choicest of words in Hindi if I have to if I have to say, but also blaming everything and everyone for not aligning with my plan. But with everything that went down, I'm happy to report that I have left the old house and I have come to a newer one. I am in a much happening area, so let's see how that goes. I'll keep you all posted. But it's not been easy, but we've managed to make through all of that trouble that was caused and come to this new place. And something that I'd like to say, just as something that came on my Instagram from a post that I'd saved a while ago, and I know that it's really intense for the situation that I'm talking about, but sometimes when you're trying to move by yourself, I was lucky that I had someone to help me, and I also could hire someone to help me. But sometimes when you're doing all of this by yourself, it gets really difficult, and it's really hectic, and you don't know what to do first and what to do next, and all of that really gets to you. And I feel like sometimes in such moments you feel really really alone. And so something that I found online that I had saved was something that Anton Chekhov said, and he said, "I may not have amazing victories, but I can amaze you with defeats that I came out of alive." And I think that people who are doing this all by themselves and have no one to sort of cry, no one's shoulder to cry on, and not rant about or crib about, or just are doing it all by themselves. I think one, cheers to you, but two, I think amazing people with the defeats that we are coming out of our life. But I would say more so amazing ourselves, that every time the universe throws us a new curveball, we are able to sort of hit it out of the park. And I think I just want to say that I'm not praising myself particularly, but I'm praising everyone else who um, is doing this all by themselves, and I just like to say that you're doing well. But yeah, coming now to the most important question that I said earlier on, pizzas versus burgers. Overwhelmingly, everyone I sent my previous audio to said pizzas, and everybody asked me that they would be curious to know if there is anyone who would say burger, and I think I need to send my audio out to more people to get an answer there. But I think, yeah, overwhelmingly everybody said pizza. There were many different reasons for saying why that was their favorite. So one person said that it was easier to just eat a pizza and you get one slice, and that's apparently that how much ever they want at a time, and so that's an easier meal to have. Someone else said that it's just a meal that they look forward to. There are for them, a burger is not something that they look for when they're thinking of something fun to have, and so that was an option that someone said. Someone said burgers are just okay, our pizzas are like amazing, they're brilliant. Someone else said that burgers are really messy, so they don't want to indulge in something like that. They'd rather have a pizza that's much easier to eat. And so, what I'm seeing very like a theme forming here is that people think pizzas are easier to eat and burgers are not. But alternatively, someone else who chose pizza also said that they would rather eat a burger if they were driving um, to some place and not have a pizza because the burger was an easier meal to eat. And so I think there are multiple opinions on why one over the other, but overwhelmingly everyone chose the pizza. Something all of us though came back to, I think, was trying to remember when or where was the first pizza that we had. And something that at least us Indian kids were thinking about was that the first pizza that we all remember was the pizzas our mother made us. And so the one that I could think of was when my mother used to get the pizza base from Monjini's, which is a pastry shop which was famous back when I was a kid in India, and make vegetarian pizza. So bunch of veggies, tomato sauce on these pizzas, and actually bake them at home, and they were delicious, mind you, one of the best pizzas I've ever eaten. And we started reminiscing on the groups about the pizzas that we've had as kids and why we loved our mom's pizzas the best. And so that was a childhood core memory, I think, maybe is the reason why everybody likes that over burgers. What I particularly could remember was as a kid going to Pizza Hut in Indonesia. In Indonesia, having a salad bar, which my mother was the biggest fan of. Even to this date, my mother raves about that salad bar. But us kids having pizza, not really caring about the salad so much. And so then we started talking about what happened when Pizza Hut first came to Pune, where I am from, and what that memory was for everyone. And so I'd love for people to come and join us and share those. And I'm talking to you, Ruchita, right now because you shared a very funny story of how what happened when you went to Pizza Hut for the first time, and that was something I thought you could share with everyone else. But I was thinking about then suddenly I was thinking about Pizza Hut and Domino's and what I prefer today and what are my memories of Pizza Hut. It was a whole journey with this question. I realized, like, for me, when I posed it, I was being facetious when I said pizzas versus burger is such an important question and you should be able to answer it. But what I was just joking. It was sarcasm. I did not think it would be so deep. But then all of us started thinking about our stories, and I remember one of my school birthdays being celebrated at a Pizza Hut because it had just opened around the corner, and I was hell bent on celebrating it there. So my parents obliged, and we had that whole party there. And I remember my mother had asked me to come home early, but I was like, no, I want to hang out with a friend. So I stayed back, and that was the first time I remember being scared walking back home like today as an adult. I was like, oh, I was old enough that I was scared to walk back home. And there's another memory where I had one of my first dates at Pizza Hut. So there's this whole range, this whole journey that I'm having with this question, and I feel like everybody's sort of core memory was getting they were reminded of those core memories. And so I think it was such a deep question when in fact I did not intend it to be. And so yeah, I think it got us all thinking about some fun memories from the past, and I hope that more people can remember what their first pizza memory was and share those with me, and maybe share those on this podcast. Yes, so now, just for the final question of the podcast, before I go back to looking outside the window, which is what I've been doing, by the way, the whole time I've been talking to you. I feel like each one of you listening to this is a building in front of me, not to minimize you all into any building, but just I'm just imagining that you all are in front of me and I'm talking to you. And so my final question is, and this is just for me to get to know, the idea behind this podcast was for me to get to know my friends a little better, and have this conversation with them and basically keep them engaged. And so one of the questions that I have for everyone is, where is your where were your grandmothers from? Like, what city are they from? um, where where did you all, like, where did you used to go to meet them if they did not live in the same city as you? So basically the question is, I want to know more about your grandmothers. I had very different set of grandmothers growing up, and so I'd love to learn more about yours. If you all got to grow up with them, if you all got to know more about them, and maybe one thing that you think that you got from them, that you think that, oh, like, people around you tell you that, oh, this is what your grandmother used to do and you do this exactly like her, something like that. Anything about your grandmother would be fun to learn about. And so yeah, I think that's all I had for today. I just remembered while I end this that I did not share my achievement with all, but I feel like the last 3 days of my life have been achievement itself, just moving houses and doing all this by myself with some help from some people, and some paid help as well. But nevertheless, an achievement to move in big cities by yourself. Whoever is doing this, uh, kudos to you. This has been a really long podcast because it's been a while, but I hope you all have a great week. I hope you all had a great weekend. For those who are already waking up to their Mondays, happy Monday. For those who are just dreading the next week, I hope this podcast helped a little bit. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for listening. Bye bye.